Now to a major political emergency unfolding in West Africa, following the military coup in Niger, the regional bloc. ECOWAS has said it wants a diplomatic and peaceful resolution to the takeover, but that no options are off the table. Diplomatic efforts to find a resolution have stepped up with a warning from Washington seeking to the BBC. The U.S. Secretary of State, Antony Blinken, has voiced his concern that Niger's military leaders might turn to the Russian mercenary group, Wagner, for help. The group is active in neighboring countries. They're seen here in the Central African Republic last month, and Wagner's leader has welcomed the takeover. The co-leaders are currently standing firm against calls to restore democratic rule. Well, here's what Mr. Blinken had to say about Wagner to the BBC a little earlier for sure. We have concerns when we see, something like the Wagner group possibly manifesting itself in different parts of the Sahel, and here's why we're concerned, because every single place that this group, Wagner group, has gone deaf. Destruction and exploitation have followed, insecurity has gone up, not down. It hasn't been a response to, the needs of the countries in question for greater security. I think what happened, and what continues to happen in Niger was not instigated, by Russia, by Wagner, but to the extent that they try to take advantage of it, and we see a repeat of what's happened in other countries, where they brought nothing but bad things in their wake. That wouldn't be good. Let's see. The U.S. Secretary of State, Antony Blinken the Wagner leader, Yevgeny Pien, has released an audio message referring to the coup in Niger. The recording emerged on Telegram, though the date and location can't be independently verified. Mr. Ian had this message apparently for the coup leaders. We are always on the side of goodness, justice, and on the side of those who fight for sovereignty and for the rights of their people. Call us anytime. Yevgeny. Go there. Well, let's hear now from West Africa analyst Paul Emmy. Thank you so much, Paul, for joining us here on the program. We just heard there from, Yevgeny Ian, who said, call us anytime. I suppose he's expecting a call if he hasn't had one already. So I think, that will be releasing a very wild, passing, among the pigeons, because already West Africa is in a very, D-street with, now four of the countries, under military rule. But, how he does that, perhaps, in the sense that, neighbors like, Mali and Burkina Faso, they have embraced, Russia. They are also, I think, Wagner is, active there. There hasn't been any, evidence that they are in Burkina Faso, or perhaps he is inviting them where they should be the ones to invite. It's not clear, but I mean, how problematic. But of the water, how problematic do you think it is that echoes? Put this deadline of 7 days that came and went, and their call was, the regional bloc's call was, reinstate the president of Niger, bring democracy back or else, and then we didn't quite figure out what that or else was. Yeah, I think it was, Ross, everybody's condemning, the coup. You have heard from the Americans, and then EU, no. Yes, EU and Russia. France, former colonial power there. So it was just a frenzy, in that moment of, outreach that ECO was, I thought, issue that ultimatum, but has now realized that it was a precipitated action. And so they have pulled back a bit to give them, diplomacy and negotiation a chance. But, the hunter, leaders are digging in. For instance, there was, a diplomatic, message that, ECO was, EU and the UN were to, lead the joint mission to Niger tomorrow, Wednesday. But the, cool leader said they wouldn't have, any of that because any of them there. Yeah. Which just gives you a sense of how much the relationships have broken down, because of course they were, happy to have the leader of Chad there. They took the calls from Mali and Burkina Faso, but Kawas they're more suspicious of. How do you believe this will end? Well, I think, E has been there before, even in Niger itself. There have been Niger is not, a stranger to cause. The point is that, Eco has, appears to have, they dropped the ball. Some years ago, allowing, these, soldiers to take power in Mali, in Guinea, and then Burkina Faso, and now, Niger. So, but they want to now stop it. They want to sound tough, but this is, complex if you bring a work to it. And, the fact that, the four countries appear to be, bonding together to fight, a purported of an imminent, so that is why ECOWAS is now saying, listen, we can handle this. They were able to send, end the war in Liberia, in Sierra Leone, and, were able to do things. It's just that they missed, is a bad, strategy that they've been using that have allowed them this, caution. And they, again, because of the fact that the leaders, I'm not, showing good examples. Some of them have involved carrying out, political ballot bust schools, rigging, election corruption, and then they're not actually leading. I think that is what, is now, giving, sensing the population. Yeah. And then the military are now, trying to catch it on that, Paul, Jimmy, fascinating hearing your thoughts there. Thank you very much for joining us.